Welcome back to the channel. Same shirt on from last 2 weeks. Though, let me get into setting up and putting this Ionic battery in. So, front deck's a little messed up still, so I'm gonna kind of half-ass show you, at least at the start. But the big thing is figuring out where you're gonna install your battery at. The hardest part. So of course, my graph. My black box is in here, which you guys saw in the video a couple years ago. So I got some room in there. I got the wires pulled for the black box. So what I'm probably do is just put it in here. So originally I thought about just mounting on the side on this wall, but I think it can hold it. It's all aluminum. But I'm not sure on these Ionic batteries if you can mount them that way, and I forgot to ask. So I'm just gonna mount it on the floor. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take this Ionic battery, we're gonna mount it underneath here, underneath this lip on the floor. So if any rain comes down, it won't fall on the terminals. I might figure out a different way in the future, but pretty much I'll mount it down there, run my wires, connect it in. So if this battery screws up or whatever, I can take these wires, there's a hole down there for my breather, pop the breather out, run the wires through, and I can just plug it into my junction block that's underneath here. Somewhere underneath there. I think you guys can see it. Yeah, right there. And then I can just run on my big battery. So that's kind of my way of reason I'm putting it there, making sure the wire's long enough so if there is an issue, I can still unhook it, hook it up to my big battery, and run the big battery. So I have my live scope if I needed that much that day. If I don't see the live scope help me that much, then I probably won't do it, just leave it alone. But the big thing is, I was kind of had a hard time figuring out where these wires go. I know they go in my junction block, but it's not really labeled. And I don't see any extra grounds, even though there's a ground wire coming off of this. So what we're gonna do is just gonna run brand new wire. So I recommend, well, most people recommend 10 gauge. I just forgot to order 10 gauge, but I had some 14 gauge laying around. So we're gonna do some 14 gauge. So I got some 14 gauge wire. So we're gonna hook up 14 gauge wire with waterproof connectors. Pretty much waterproof connectors, once you crimp them, you can heat them up and they shrink. So we're gonna put waterproof connectors on it and run wires. So I'm gonna try to clean up a little bit, try to prop you up best I can, and kind of go through this process. So let me clean up a little bit and I'll see you. Okie dokie. We're cleaned up a little bit. So what I am saying though is if you already have wires ran that you can use, just use that. There's no point of buying specialty wires unless you're a tournament angler and you're like super serious, and probably should. Just, you know, you have the best ability, you're maximizing your voltage. Going to 14 gauge, technically I'm restricting a little bit, but it's not a big enough deal. I'm not going to see enough change on my screen to make it a big deal, at least in my opinion. I'm gonna stare at this thing and probably catch 20 crappie on it and catch one bass all year. So to me, it doesn't matter as much. But if you don't have the wire you can use, or you just want to run new wires, like I'm going to, this is what the kind of steps. Which if you're doing this already, you kind of already know what you need to do. So first step is move your C phone. Need that. I'm gonna pull my screws out of this. So I can pull my tray out. Pull my tray out, and I can get to my wires for my graph, because underneath there I'm gonna pretty much snip them off. I just remember I forgot my connectors. Snip those off, snip on my red and black wire that I just showed you guys, and then I'm gonna try to start fishing it over here. I have a hole drilled for my transducer, but I'm gonna try not to put it into the same hole because of interference with the voltage. Even though it's so low, it shouldn't matter. But there is a hole on these outside where my other wires have come through that give me power up here. I'm trying to fish them up through there and then have them pop out in this area. And then there's zip ties all the way through here on the top, all the way down. So I'm gonna just kind of run my wires all the way down, kind of bring them over here and stop. Once I get to that part, then I'm going to grab the battery, mount the battery, Once again, not sure with the charger yet. What we might do, I think I'm mounting it here. No matter what, I think I'm gonna mount the charger here, probably up in here somewhere. But I'm trying to figure out, I don't want to drill a bunch of more holes. Don't let my boat, it's fucking dirty. I would like to be able to get through this without having to close this lid, or leave this lid closed when I charge it. I do have one of those wrong word. One of those plugs that you drill a hole and you plug in your outlet. I can get another one of those and I can mount it up high in here so I don't see it. But once again, it's like a 1 1/4 inch hole you're supposed to drill. So, I don't know. What I might try to do, I might try to take this apart and see if this is either soldered on or just straight like a terminal strip. I'm thinking soldered probably, but if I can desolder it, I'll just desolder off this and just run it. Or, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll like probably for the day, honestly now. Probably just for the day. I'm probably just gonna mount it. I'll just leave my door open when I have to charge it, so no spinning rods be on the side when I'm charging. And then, but it's also lithium. I don't need to charge this thing every time before I go out. You know, they hold up the charge a lot better. I expect to go like a month before charging that thing again. So anyway, we're rambling. I'm gonna work on getting this wires out, getting this screwed on done. I'm gonna get those wires stripped up. If you don't know how to use a stripper, it's pretty straightforward. I don't really have a really way to show you guys down there, but look up a YouTube video up. That's how I learned a lot of this wiring shit and anything I do, even work related stuff. I just Google YouTube everything. Rambling. I'll see you in a minute. I'll see you when I get this wired up. Man, I'm starting to sweat. I love it here. Finally getting warm. Anyway, so I got pretty much it mostly done. I just stemmed out all the boring stuff. Man, weird clear. Anyway, but look at that beautiful sight right there. Now he's kind of flickering. 16 volts. So got my extra wire here. I still gotta heat gun that and then clean up the wire. I'm gonna wrap it up, kind of how I did my old wire, and trying to push up there. But I have ran through. There's already whipped words are hard. Zip ties, so I have ran. Not a big fan of what I'm doing over here right now. With this wiring kind of coming up, and it's kind of a cluster, but everything's in there. Everything's holding. Yeah. Not the biggest fan. I think I could definitely do better cleaning this up, but I probably should have not bolted it down, like you see. Should have took the bolts out. I should have wired everything up and then put it in here and then bolted down, but not a big deal. So I'm gonna probably mess with this a little bit more on wiring. I'm gonna try to find something up here I can zip tie and I can pull these wires up. If not, I know there's wires running up in here, so I can just pull these up and zip tie those wires. So I'm gonna do a little bit of work cleaning this up. I want to note on the wires. You see, if you can really see, I twist these up. If you have a drill, you take your one side, put in a vise or put something on it. Take the other side of your two wires, put in your drill, so you have a black wire, red wire in your drill, where your chuck. There you go. Words. On low speed, and it will wrap up your wires so you don't have wires all loose. I forgot my drill, so I just handed these. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but you can kind of see more back here. So I mean, I got some that are pretty tight and then some are loose. I just did that so I don't have wires just kind of doing this motion. So everything's kind of tight-ish. But I did forget, so typically on your graphs, they'll come with a built-in fuse. You can either, if like on this situation, I could take mine off. But this has the stick fuses. I don't keep those in my boat. I keep, more of these type fuses in my boat because this is what my junction block says, or my junction block uses. So I bought this little inline fuse, which is another one I got a heat gun from Bass Pro. I think it was like $3. I'm trying to see if I can find a package if it's up here still. I can't find a package, but it's like $3 or something. And that's really, it works fine. There's probably better ones out there, but it's those $3. And then I bought also a pack of fuses for different sizes. I think it was like $3 something. But I put an amp, a 10 amp. That's what I had in the inline fuse, was a 10 amp. So I'm marking a 10 amp. If anyone recommends a higher amp, my next size up is a 15. I don't think it really matters. I think the fuse is just more if it just gets surge. I think 10 amps probably just fine. But yeah, so pretty much done. I only put 2 bolts in because these are on the outside. Plenty fine. This one's not cinching all the way down. It's a little bit shorter. I'm gonna pull him out, put a bigger screw in. And then I told you I had the Ionic box. I only did 2. If it seemed like it's not holding, I can put 2 more in. But I have that ran down. They have like little washers. So I put the battery clamps all the way against it with no washers. I put a washer in, did the black box. No, sorry, did the fish finder, put a washer, black box wires, and then the nut. So everything's spaced out. Doesn't really matter too much. I know some people say it does. I just went ahead and did the washers. But pretty much all installed. Like I said, at this point now, it's more just cleaning it up. It's really easy, especially with like this setup. That's what a lot of people do this, put in their rod locker. If this was in all the way in the back, I would either run a fish tape all the way up, or if I had a wire I could pull back, I would just zip tie. Let's tape that wire and pull it back. But if you have the front spot, I would recommend putting these in the front in the area. It's lithium. They don't weigh a lot. I did think about putting it down here, but there's no room, so I just went ahead and put it here. I could have put it in here as well. I have room. This is about where my compartment ends. So I have a lot of room back here, and I always talk about it's useless space. So I could have took it, mounted in here, and then just ran my wires, just drew the hole right here, and then my wires here and hide it. So you do have some options with your lithium batteries. Just kind of figure out the best spot. I'm trying to keep less stuff in this side as much this year, so this is going to kind of help me create that saving space. You know, I know you guys enjoyed the video last year of me going through my storage. I'm doing it again this year. I'm gonna go through my boat, kind of go through why, and same concept as last year. What I didn't use, what I did use. But this year I'm probably just gonna record the end product of it and just kind of talk about what I pulled out. And I'll probably show you the box of all the baits I pulled out. But I'm hoping to do that, make it a little less clustered on this side. I'm trying to make sure I have like my safety stuff and like my big worms on the side, my bigger swim baits, you know, stuff I don't use very often on this side because this is where my spinning rods always sit. And I'm gonna try to move everything to the center locker, which would mean I need to do some organization. So hip hip hooray. But anyway, so that's done. I'm very excited. Like I said, I'm gonna short that bolt out or self tapper out. Nice thing about aluminum, you can just run self tappers, so that's the cool part. Run that screw out. The connectors, I will say the connectors on my black box are, I'm not the biggest fan of them. So I'm fishing this weekend, so I'm probably just rock them this weekend, and then I will probably just get some different ones. I ran out of these. The ones I have are the fork ones, so I got it tight. They shouldn't fall off, but I do have these. I'm gonna order some of these, pick some up and bring them with me. If it does fuck up on the water, I'll just fix it on the water. It's not a huge deal. Nice thing, these are DC voltage batteries, if you guys didn't know. But your boats are all DC, none of it AC. So you touching them, it's not gonna hurt yourself. You can short shit out, so don't touch lead to lead. But if you hook up, I always hook up my power wire first and then my neutrals or my grounds. That's just the way I do it, but some people can tell you other ways. But I think that's it. But anyway, so I'm gonna just finish up, and I gotta do some vacuuming. You see, I'm gonna try and work on this wiring, cleaning it up. I got some of my black box wiring I gotta clean up. I get that one cleaned up. I gotta get that zip tied, shrink tube, blah 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 blah. So I'm gonna do that. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Also, this thing has an app. Not sure the correct way to. So I'm gonna download the app. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna scan this little QR code to get it linked up so I can track the voltage. But I'm very excited to have this lithium battery. I know this wasn't the most step-by-step process. But overall, I'll try to make it my step a little bit easier. So hardest part will be is just doing it, having the confidence to do it. This stuff's really easy. Get yourself some butt connectors. I usually get the ones that are like, I think 14 to 16 gauge or 12 to 16. Just get yourself some butt connectors, get yourself some end connectors, get the heatable ones, which are waterproof or watertight. But except that, guys, trying to think of stuff without rambling. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions at all by the Iconics, by the time you guys see this video, I've already been out. So just let me know if you have any comments. I will answer back any comments or questions. But I think that's it. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon.